posted me like squatting, and then Matt was like,
Slow her down.
I was
And he's like, oh, I forgot you followed me.
Who wants to intro this?
Just did.
Yeah,
You
that
just
was
did.
it.
Do it in the
You
mic.
just missed it.
What do you
If you
mean?
blink,
I
you
did
miss
in,
it.
Like season 3, episode 2.
There we go.
I see the little green things going up and down.
Therefore, I heard you. What actual podcast number are we at? 24.
Episode 24.
24.
Damn, we did 24 of these.
Do you know who's famous for being number 24 in sports?
I would have to think I know that person. Do you know that person?
Wrong answers only.
Tiger Woods.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
All right, so are we doing a Q&A today?
I just have different topics for you guys from suggested topics from people from the Instagram and stuff. So
Shoot.
it'll be good. Well, first, how was Nashville? You guys went on a Nashville trip.
It was actually like the best, I think, event we've done. Like as far as not being exhausted after.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, best for me for sure. Yeah, it was a Q&A style event instead of a meet and greet. So instead of having to meet individually, like over 1,000 people, getting to speak to that many people at once is like, it's just like the amount of energy it drains out of you to like shake hands and smile and have a one-on-one conversation with people like once, twice, 10 times is great, you know, meeting people. And then after 100, 200, 300, 400, you're like numb, you know?
Well, it's just so repetitive to
It's
you.
just, yeah, it's nothing, you know? It's like not
Right.
any real conversation. So actually being able to go in depth into questions and talk and communicate about different topics that everybody's hearing for me was a lot better. And Brent at one point was like, all right, we're going to be done in like 5 minutes. I was like, we can go like way longer than this. Like it's been an hour. Like let's keep going. I could have done that for like 3 hours probably.
It was good. I enjoyed it a lot.
People were super receptive too. I feel like
Yeah.
they all liked it.
I think, honestly, if they take a step back, they're going to realize they're getting a lot more value out of that than just being able to shake your hand.
Yeah, because you know, like in a line when you have one person waiting, it's like they only get to talk to you for a second. But I think the questions obviously can always be like a little bit better. Like you had a few good ones and there were some like questionable ones. But I think if you like take the whole time and like use it wisely, it's best for the audience too. I think they get more out of it.
Oh, 100%. And Tennessee I love Tennessee. One of my favorite states.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, the weather was like a little bit hotter than I thought it was going to be, but it was still really nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
How was the gym? Brand new gym, right?
Yeah, it's black.
It's good.
Why are you looking at me?
Because that was what you said.
Well, I was referring to that it used to be. Someone asked me, what do I think of the gym? I'm like, it's great. It's black.
You said, who doesn't love a black?
Who doesn't love a black gym? I mean,
It's just a funny one-liner. It's just
Yeah.
inside joke.
Then he rotated directly to me and said that I'm not painting it all black. The next thing we do or something.
oh yeah. Dom, don't paint everything black.
No, it's nice. The gym is beautiful. I mean, he did a really good job. We didn't see all of it though. So like, I think technically he only like remodeled the main like
Training.
room
Yeah.
of the gym, and there's still like pieces off. To, like he has this whole like NFL like style area. He said like a combine
Like
area
a training area.
that he's hadn't done yet, and then it's gonna be really sick when it's all done.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, latest news. Did you guys hear about the Powerball? I briefly told Matt about it.
Yeah, and someone won in California, right?
It's $1.9 billion jackpot.
Someone won it.
Wait, somebody won?
Yeah,
no,
they-
no one's
they
won
just
it.
announced
It got delayed for security protocols.
Yeah, but they announced it, I think. After
Really?
that. Yeah, I think it was one person in California won it.
That's crazy. And
The guy,
Yeah.
whose his son is like a Bengals player, was sold at his gas station
that's
that he owns.
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like 900. It's like a $900 something million payout.
Sometimes
Yeah.
do people sometimes not win?
Yeah,
Like, or does
that's
somebody
why it
always
gets
win?
so high, because it keeps piling.
Yeah.
up.
It piles up
really?
from the amount of people that
Yeah.
buy in.
We don't have this.
Do you guys have the lottery in Canada or no?
Not like that. We have like the Chio lottery, which is like $100,000 or something. I think. We have bags of milk. Yeah.
Old bags. Yeah, it was crazy. So it was the winner can either get an annual installment of 63 mil, like yearly installments, or a lump cash sum of $929 million.
Yeah, one time.
I would take
So
that.
after tax, you get like 500 mil.
No. That's
That's
it.
after tax.
That's after tax?
Yeah.
well, yeah,
It's
50%.
almost $2 billion.
Yeah.
they take half of it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's What do you even do with that?
I'd buy a chef and a driver.
Simple
I'm
life.
waiting for this day.
$1 billion.
I'd live the exact same life, but somebody would drive my ass to this office that's so far away. And somebody would cook my
far
food,
away.
which that's actually for Courtney because she already cooks my food for me and it actually tastes good. So that would just save her some time.
That's perfect.
My lady that cooks my food she's been absolutely ridiculous. She cooks everything I don't want.
She's slacking.
Meatballs 12 times a day.
Such a rough life, man. I don't know how you get through the day. How
Oh,
dare
darn.
she cook what you don't like for you?
Like I
God
came home
forbid.
yesterday and there was a pot of potatoes.
What's wrong with that?
Like
was it?
roasted
Like mashed?
potatoes
Oh,
or
that was it?
mashed?
Roasted potatoes.
That's fire.
That's
what
alright.
I eat every day.
Throw some
There was
sea
nothing
salt.
else. It was just a pot.
Oh, there's no
No
meats?
protein? Hey,
You
carbs
gotta
are
put
covered for
together
the
like a
week.
menu for the week and
Bro,
be
I
like, all right,
did.
like surprise me,
I-
but with these meals.
That's a good idea. Maybe I'll try that.
Because you like the surprise sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
you
don't
want
want
it to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So what do you tell her? Like as far as like a cook goes, how do you go
Well, I
about
gave her
that?
like a diet, and then I love. First of all, if you're watching this, I love you. You're great.
She's probably not.
Second of all, I think it's just like there's like a miscommunication in portion sizes. So like, I'll be like, I need like 3 meals, X amount of ounces of chicken and rice, and then I'll wake up and we'll be like 2 chicken breasts to split between me and Sammy for the day. And I'm just like, sick.
That's how like the normal population eats.
I'm aware.
yeah.
She looks at me like I have 7 heads when she sees how much I actually eat, and I don't even eat a lot. Like compared to you fuckers,
Yeah.
Whoa, what is the S on the end of that for?
you eat a lot. You eat more than me,
I don't think so.
dude. That breakfast is a lot.
It's 3 eggs and 10 ounces of beef.
Yeah, that's a big breakfast.
That's a 10 ounces of beef.
That's solid.
Yeah.
That's a solid breakfast for sure.
What do you eat for breakfast? 6 chocolate chip cookies?
No,
Jimmy Dean's.
it was the Jimmy Dean's breakfast bowls, but I'm back on the Proats.
Okay.
2 Quakers apples and cinnamon packets.
Oh, so you don't even do the regular oats? You
No,
do
no,
the
No, no, no.
six
Of course
year-
not.
No.
Do you have
of
the ones
course.
with the marshmallows in them?
No.
Dinosaurs?
Just apples.
Just sugar sprinkled
The
on top.
dinosaur apples.
Dinosaur eggs.
The dinosaur
You even put
eggs.
raw protein in it? Or?
Yes, I do 2 scoops of Seabum's vanilla oatmeal cookie.
Good man.
So 50 grams of protein right in the morning.
There you go.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of protein in your oats.
I fit it in when I can.
There
Oh.
you go.
The more the merrier. But this was a good one I saw that I thought would get some interesting answers. So say for whatever reason you fall off, right? And your bank account gets wiped. What would you do to build it up back up to $1 million?
Define fall off. Like, do I just lose my money or do we lose every business that we've ever had?
Like
You just start from 0.
you start from zero. You start from zero and you don't have 11 million followers.
So
to
meaning
rely on.
meaning that we don't have the
Damn, you
people
can't
in
go
this
to
room?
OnlyFans.
I'm fucked, yeah.
We don't have the people in this room, or we do have the people in this room?
You
Like, do we
don't.
have
You're
a
on your
business?
own. Yeah. You can have a business, but you
But
have to
not
start
this
from ground
business?
zero. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, just wake up and do the same thing that we're doing right now. The mentality doesn't really change.
Okay. So you have to start a brand new coaching business. How would you go about like starting brand new? You have no.
So I've lost
reputation.
all of my athletes.
Yeah, you lost all your.
Well, now
athletes.
it's totally different.
So you have no
started off.
reputation.
You
You have
started
no
off saying we
reputation.
just
You have
lost
to
the
s-
money. Now we have no reputation. Now we have no family. Now I have no wife. Like now everything's gone.
Pick a homeless guy off the street.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
him.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you have the same mentality, like you're the same person, same work ethic, but you have to like start from ground zero. Like, how did you go about first getting your reputation as a coach?
So I posted a ton of training videos, try to
Okay.
put out a ton of education, and then I just traveled everywhere with my athletes to get that face value with them to build a reputation that way.
Okay. So you just kind of start from ground zero, but do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean in terms of coaching, that'd be hard to start all over with coaching.
Once you've done something to do it again,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Dom?
I think the easiest way to like financially get stable, I would probably pick like a trade. It's like right now in the world, the way it is right now, I think like just getting like a construction job in like electrical or like plumbing, any of those jobs, like those guys are so needed right now, and there's no skill left in like our like generation that I think you could easily just like come up there, make some money there, and then flip it into doing a ton of other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like people really don't realize like that's 2 years of trade school and you're in.
You don't even have to go to school anymore. They stopped it. So you
Really?
can literally just apprentice underneath someone who's licensed, and then you can get a license by doing that.
Yeah.
I think honestly, in today's time, if you have integrity, you work hard, and you treat people right, you
You're
can
ahead
be
of everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's very rare,
Yeah.
very rare.
What about you?
Trick question. I'd move to Peru,
Really?
do ayahuasca, and not care about money ever again.
Hang out with Aaron Rodgers.
Hang out there and Rodgers. Get off the grid.
Get off
Well,
the
just,
grid.
Just push me to do it a little earlier.
Jeez. All right. This was a lot of people asked this, and I know you guys have been asked this a lot. So, what are your thoughts on replacing sucralose for stevia extract on our products? Why don't we do it?
Don't ask Chris this question.
I actually have a great answer to this. First of all, we're trying to do a line of natural stuff, and we're working on it. Second of all, from my own experiments and talking to lots of people, higher doses of stevia and monk fruit are actually worse for your gut than higher doses of sucralose. They're just natural, but they actually wreak more havoc on your gut because they also take a higher volume to sweeten stuff. So you need more stevia and more monk fruit to sweeten what you would with sucralose.
Where did we figure that out? What was it? We were eating a ton of something we were like doing a ton of it, and it was like naturally sweet, and it fucked our stomachs up.
Well, I mean,
the protein. Was
yeah,
it the original
yeah,
protein?
yeah, the sweetly stevia.
Yeah.
the sweet
yeah.
stevia. That's
And
what it
I
was.
went like, I think 8 weeks without sucralose or at all, no Diet Coke, no nothing. And my
So it felt
digestion
worse.
got worse.
Yeah.
But I was still having protein. I had like some random stuff Courtney found, sweetened with stevia and all this stuff, and it like made my stomach worse. The second I switched back to our raw protein, the sea bum vanilla, it was like, within a few days I was back to normal. I was like, fuck, you know?
I think there
So-
still is like it still needs to be there. I think we're gonna continue to work on
Yeah.
it. It's definitely difficult to make taste really good, but I think we'll nail it.
And then, I mean-
yeah, if you're taking like a, right now I'm taking Burn, I'm taking pre-workout, I'm taking like 4 scoops of protein a day. Like that's a lot, you know, and that would be a lot of stevia to need to sweeten all those products. If you're having like a shake a day or one thing you want to be natural, like cool. But personally, at least I found I can't handle that much.
I think too. I mean, ultimately, our goal from the beginning was to make things as healthy as possible. But that's our passion. But then when you actually find out what people truly care about, it's taste. I mean, more so than anything else, they care about how it tastes.
Well, performance and taste.
Yeah.
Performance and taste.
So, do you think that's a product of like us having so much unnatural stuff to the point where having too much natural kind of kills the digestion or like hurts
No.
more?
No, I think it's just more shit. Like if you look at our serving size, remember like the serving size from the original?
Yeah, so it's like it's a 41 gram serving versus a 31, 32 gram serving, you know, so the amount of added sweetener that you have to put in to make it
10
taste
grams.
relatively the same is a lot more.
Okay.
You know, so per serving size, the volume's a lot higher.
If I think your question is, are we like taking in so much artificial sweetener that we're used to that and then switching back to natural?
Exactly.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's it at all.
They're not like proven, but I've seen studies saying that higher levels of stevia is actually provenly harder on your gut than sucralose.
Yeah. Makes sense. Tips for someone in college looking to bulk on a budget.
Dude, you know the answer to this. You eat them all the time. Chicken thighs.
Yep.
Chicken thighs.
Chicken thighs.
Chicken thighs and rice, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken
Could live-
thighs and mix them with chicken cutlets, you know.
You can literally live on like $30 a week, I think, if you got chicken thighs and rice.
I think Target does like $5 chicken. I forget what it is, but they have like a pretty good quantity, or even Costco,
Does
right?
Fresh Market still do the $2.99 chicken on like Tuesdays or whatever?
I don't know. I haven't been there in
They
forever.
used to do that.
But depending where you live, potatoes too. I lived in
Oh, yeah.
the east coast of Canada where they make almost all the potatoes, so I could get like a 10-pound bag of potatoes for like $2,
Yeah.
and then just fucking bake those and fiend off them.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can easily live off of $100, less than $100 a week, I think, if you really wanted to,
Yeah.
and grow.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
if you're a college student too, this is down to prioritizing, like spending your money on new clothes to look cool on campus. Are you going out and drinking with your friends? Are you buying your alcohol before and getting drunk before you show up? Or are you getting all your drinks at the bar, which is more expensive? You know,
think-
like where are you spending all your other money?
Didn't like Evan Centopani do a video that
It's like
went viral?
big on a budget
Yeah,
or something like that.
bodybuilding
Yeah.
on a budget or something
Yeah.
like that. I remember watching that. when I was,
Animal
like,
Pack
18.
did that.
Yeah.
They did a number, I think, too. They would say like bulking on $100 or something.
Yeah, it was like $75 for a week's worth of groceries.
Yeah.
You got everything for that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that was one of the biggest deterrents for me. Like I'm like, oh well, I have to eat more, I have to buy more. Like, and I'm in college, I'm broke, so I can't bulk right now.
Yeah. Now you just spend $40 on crumble cookies.
Yeah, you literally show up. You go out to eat every. This is like my point, though. This is my exact point.
Yeah.
You go out to eat every day, almost.
Yeah,
at the
just
office.
about.
That's like 4 times more expensive than if you were to prep your meals. At
Yeah.
home.
It's not
100%.
even out to eat. It's every meal. It is.
And snacks.
It's like it's
True, if you're eating at home, it's a Jimmy Dean's.
like every meal you eat is
Oh,
technically out of not home cooked.
This is going to be end up roasting the host's
Literally
podcast.
roasting the host.
Like you literally pay. You're so. This is how lazy you are. Ready for this? No. I have to tell you this. You won't even shred your own rotisserie chicken. You buy the pre-shredded.
I bought that once from Sprouts.
Ah,
Once I bought the
I don't know if it was just
pre-shredded
once.
Sprouts.
So why not just buy the chicken yourself, the actual rotisserie chicken, and just peel it apart?
I mean, yeah, I could. I mean, I do that.
Save
sometimes.
yourself, $9 a pound.
Yeah, that is true. That was like,
Or actually buy the chicken breast.
Yeah,
and
it was like-
we gotta take.
Yeah,
baby
so
steps.
there's raw chicken, there's cooked chicken breast, there's rotisserie chicken, and then there's pulled rotisserie chicken, and you're like, ding, 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 ding,
just go to
ding.
the top, just straight to the top.
$44 a pound, no problem.
No, yeah, but I think that is one of the biggest things too. Was one of the biggest things I hear is when people go, "Wow, I just realized how much money I could save by not eating out."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I
Eating
mean,
healthy isn't actually that expensive. Even bulking, it's everything else you're doing that's like waste of money, really.
yeah, it's if you can find like the time to meal prep and find the time to like cook all the stuff you buy, it's actually really relatively cheap.
Even when I was like eating full carnivore for a while and I was trying to get like the best quality food I could get, what I realized is when you're taking all the other crap out of
Yeah,
your
you
cart,
save so
that's
much money.
you save a ton of money.
Yeah,
And isn't it true that
You
like when it comes to like meat too, like as far as like hormones and all antibiotics and shit like that, it's stored in fat. So if you get like extra lean meat, like you don't need to get like the organic and stuff. I've read like a ton of studies
Really?
on that.
I don't know
Yeah.
about that directly, but
But
might
they
be
say
true.
like it's stored in like the fat of the meat, right? So
yeah.
like if you're getting extra lean meat or like filet and things like that, like you don't need to really focus on that because there's not enough fat. Like there's nothing stored in the meat.
Yeah, the
as it
nutrients is
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
And I mean, if you're fucking 19 years in college, you
care.
don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
no, I
organic
know.
meat. You can-
Yeah.
I think, and also like healthy, like your version of healthy changes as you get older, right? Like
Yeah.
when I was in college, I thought like just chicken breast from wherever the fuck it was healthy.
Right.
Now when I look at stuff, I'm like, oh, is it organic? Is it grass fed? Like, and I know that's stupid, but
I'm not there yet.
I'll pay more for that now because I care.
Well, you don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to be. I ate a lot of tuna too, but now I'm like mercury poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're younger, ignorance is definitely bliss in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Because of stuff like that. Like we honestly, we made it so simple when we were younger.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I went to Waffle House every day for the longest time post-workout, and I would get egg whites and steamed hash browns because I, quote unquote, thought that was healthy.
Uh-huh.
You know, I mean, it wasn't bad, but I wouldn't eat that now.
It was like cartoned egg white
Yeah.
and fucking.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
those were not real egg whites.
No, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I was much worse. Mine, I'm bad now. You guys think I'm bad now, but my go-to when I first started
Taco
was
Bell.
No, worse. So I would work
Worse than
out.
Taco Bell?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
7-Eleven.
No, close. I would work out, and then I'm like, wow, I just burned so many calories. Let me go to Wawa and get a milkshake to replenish myself.
Oh,
I think
Lord.
Taco Bell's worse.
Really?
Yeah.
And a Wawa. Wawa
Have you seen how
milkshakes are-
they make the meat at Taco Bell?
No.
It's the grossest thing you've ever seen.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
So they have like those metal things at Chipotle that they scoop the meat out of.
Yeah.
So it's basically like that, and they pour in like this powdered like clumpy shit, and then they add hot steaming water to it, and they mix it,
Mm.
and then it creates their meat.
So what is it, like freeze
How do they
dry
get
or
the
something?
That's how it comes out. It's just small little pebbles, and the water like blows it up into making it look.
Oh,
like,
because this is taco. It's like
it's
it's
the
the
top. It's
taco
ground
ground.
beef.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the grossest
I
thing
was
I've
thinking
ever
of patties.
seen.
I forgot.
Yeah.
taco.
Because
They just add like steaming hot water in, and it just like starts to. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I remember because I had accidentally like spilled a little bit of Taco Bell in my car, so there was like a little bit of the meat and sauce that dried up overnight. And I was like, "This is the grossest thing ever."
Yeah.
It's in your belly.
Yeah,
Still there
yeah.
Still there.
from
Hey.
4 years ago.
I ate the shit out of Taco Bell in college.
Those Crunchwrap
Cheesy
Supremes.
Gordita Crunch,
I
baby.
don't think I've ever eaten Taco Bell.
Crunchwrap Supreme is where it's at. All right. So, as far as being productive, what are some of the hacks or like tips you use when you're kind of feeling low on productivity, how do you kind of get yourself going?
Pick something small and easy to get your momentum. See, I think momentum is fucking huge. You know, like start your day with something really small, like making your bed and fucking going for doing cardio in the morning, building a routine of like momentum. Where like in the day, if you have a checklist where you start your day with, and then you're like you feel good about yourself, and you slowly do bigger and bigger tasks throughout the day. I think I notice myself in prep get more productive sometimes because like I have to wake up, I weigh myself, I pose, I check in, I like do cardio, and then I'm like showered and eating breakfast all by like 9 a.m. and then I'm like, fuck, I just did all this. What can I do next? And the day starts. But when I'm like off season, I wake up tired and hungry. I'm like, oh, I don't even want to eat breakfast. I'm not even hungry. And my day legs on, I'm like more or less likely to be productive that day.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that and say that I don't necessarily think like we're allowed to not be productive anymore. I think like we have so much going on that it's just like you just are, right? You don't have a choice. Like we all have to do things in order to make all this go. And I think the busier and I am, the more the more productive. I know that sounds like totally ass backwards, but like the more pressure and the more stuff I have to do, obviously the more productive you get. Just like kind of like you said when you're in prep, you just do it.
Well, there's a quote that says something about like if you want to get something done, ask the busiest person you know.
Yeah.
Not the one who's got nothing to do.
Yeah.
You know.
I think you just value time more too, as you get busier and like you know when you have all these things to do, you just value time and you don't waste it. You know, like if I'm sitting for somewhere too long, like even if I'm at my desk and I'm not doing something, like I'll just get up and like walk the warehouse and like make sure the guys are doing. I just want to always be doing something.
Yeah.
For me, waking up earlier, when I made a commitment to wake up earlier, really changed everything. Because I felt like, for one, you can just think really clear in the morning before the world gets up. And then I also have this sense of just feeling overwhelmed, knowing that people are waiting on me. And for the longest time, I would just prioritize my sleep or laziness or whatever you want to call it. And I would wake up and knew like the second I woke up, like all these people needed to hear from me. You know, but now I wake up before them, so it's like I can kind of ease into communicating with them rather than them, you know, knowing that I have to get back to them like the second I get up. You know, so that helped me a lot too.
Yeah. So like you were saying, you guys are to the point now where it's like you don't even have a choice. Like whether you like it or not, you have to be productive because there's so many people counting on you. When did that kind of like strike you? Like this is my life now. Like whether I like it or not, I have to get this done. Like I can't let these people down.
So I don't necessarily think it's a bad, like you're kind of saying, like, I don't know if you mean to say it like it, but like, you're like, it's kind of like a burden, right?
Well, I don't even say like a burden. It's almost like the mindset shifts to where it's almost, I wouldn't say it starts as a hobby, but it almost like escalates in the importance.
Like I tell people this all the time, like one of the most rewarding things about being in a position that we're in is, you know, we have so many people that rely on us to like support their families. And I think that's like all the motivation I need to do what I do every day, right? Because I'm not doing it just for me anymore. We're doing it for you and, you know, everyone else in this building. And I think that when you have that kind of pressure, it just makes you like want to be better and do the best you can because you're setting other people up too, not just yourself.
Yeah. Because I mean, you have hundreds of clients, you know, like relying on you on the daily. So when did that kind of hit you that this is my life now?
Well, I think I've never wanted to let people down, so that's a driving force. But then also, like, I mean, the same thought process that Dom said when I had my first son. I mean, like, you see that come into the world, and we chose to have him. He didn't choose to be here, so like everything changed for me at that point. You know, in terms of responsibility.
I think what you were saying too, like you didn't want like being sure that it's like it's not a burden. Like understanding
It's
that
not,
having a
yeah.
high level of responsibility brings like an intrinsic value to your life that like can't be compared to anything else. You know, the responsibility of a father, let alone coaching people, the responsibility of all your employees. You know, like I even feel like I have a pressure of just the responsibility, the position I am to like live up to someone and to like establish something. And it's not like I have to do this. It's like an exciting responsibility that drives me to be better. And like I'm grateful that I have that responsibility because it pushes me to kind of wake up every day and keep doing everything we're doing. So never thinking of something as a burden, but being actually proud and happy that you have something that's like pressuring you and making you responsible.
Yeah. And I feel like it's especially kind of unique for you because you never like asked for this. It kind of just almost like happened to you as you like grew and like got better at your craft, like bodybuilding, and you just like turned into the ideal physique. Like everyone just wants to look like you. Like it's crazy how like you just almost like exploded into the scene and got put on a pedestal so quick.
I think there's so much more to that though. Like I agree with you, but I think like when it comes to like especially Chris, I think that like it's not like he's not like the normal person that people look up to and like I want to look like Chris. Like they want to be Chris.
Yeah,
they want,
it's more so about
so much more than the way he looks. And I think that like you just said, like when you were talking about how, you know, you have a responsibility, like I think out of everyone here, I think your responsibility is probably the most, because you have so many people who are looking up to you and everything you do and everything you say. And like, I mean, literally every little thing, like your fucking haircut, you know?
I fucked up that responsibility.
I mean, but like if you think of it in that sense, like you're molding millions of kids, right? Indirectly.
Sigh.
Like you are, you know, those kids will do anything you tell them to do. And it's so awesome to see like what you talk to them about, because like even at this Q&A, like a lot of those kids did not want to hear the answers you said.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were sitting there like, fuck, like, you know, but at the end of the day, like that's what they needed to hear. And them hearing it from you, I think is like, fuck, like, okay, like that's what I need to focus on.
Yeah.
But they were waiting for that, like, you know, kind of like that fuckboy answer that the average influencer would give them. And like, I think that's why you're, you know, in the position you're in.
For sure, yeah. And I said that at the end of that talk about, like, I feel this responsibility of, like, people looking up to me, like, who am I going to be that people are going to want to be like, you know, what kind of image am I presenting to the potential next generation of people? And I had this specifically about the prep series video me and Galvin just did.
Yeah.
He wanted me to, like, create a little monologue about, like, champion mentality and, like, getting into it. And I was like, you know, the typical person's going to come in, talk about fucking, like, winning, beating competitors, like, all this shit. And I actually kind of focused it around not being anything to do about winning, not being about like fucking getting a trophy, making money, like literally focusing on like everything but that, and like becoming the best version of yourself, and like, you know, focusing on like intrinsic,
you were here
like
when I
growth in yourself.
When I talked to Calvin last night, right? Because he played it, and I was like, "That's dope. What is that?" And he was like, "This is Chris's new intro." And I was like, "I think it's so cool how, over time, like, this has changed with the maturity of Chris."
Yeah.
You know, like
I mean, because Calvin was right behind me yesterday, so I heard it like over and over.
Yeah.
I have this thought though too. Like I think it's gonna mature your audience.
Well, no, it's
you know,
maturing
them
with
following.
him.
Yeah.
So I was telling Calvin yesterday, like it's refreshing to know that as you're maturing, because I asked him if he did it. I was like, "Did you make like was this your idea or was this like Chris's idea?" And he's like, "It was like kind of like both of us. We kind of put it together." And I was like, "I think it's so cool that you guys are creating like the maturity within Chris as he grows, and like you're bringing on the people who started with Chris, but you're also keeping the younger kids like following."
Yeah.
So like that's why people don't understand how your audience grows so much. It's because like you're keeping what you start with, but you're also adding like probably people who are much older, but also those younger kids who want to be like you. So it's like you're not just keeping the same thing through. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are doing a great job of just like resonating that in all your content.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I think too, you know, Chris stops bodybuilding tomorrow. Chris gets out of shape tomorrow. The amount of people that showed up last weekend, it's not any less. Like, I don't even really see it about your physique anymore. You know,
Bro, I'm just waiting for you to bring the dad bod back, because that's when I'm gonna shine.
I'm just gonna be skinny. I've never been a fat kid. I'll just be skinny.
That would be crazy. Like the runner physique on you.
Yeah.
Like a Marcos swimmer physique.
Exactly. Yeah. 'Cause
Wider-
even when
wider
I'm,
hips
when
than
I'm
lats.
230, I look small.
Well, because you're tall.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That's my
I
life.
don't know about small, but
Yeah, your version of small.
That's interesting. So was there any point when you guys were kind of figuring out what you want to do, or like when you talked to your family, that they ever like doubted it, or were like, I don't know if you can really do that, or I don't know if that's the best kind of route that you kind of had to push through?
My mom absolutely 100% told me I was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I graduated school, and then I told her I was going to rent that space to start the first Revive, and she literally was like, "You're out of your fucking mind. Like, I don't understand what this is. Like, what are you doing?" And I did it. I just did it, and I was like, "Fuck it, you know, whatever. If it doesn't work, I'll figure it out." And then when I moved it again, I think the biggest panic attack she had was when I signed the lease for the gym.
Really?
Dude, she fucking lost it. She's like, "You're going to ruin your life. You're renting this huge fucking space." Like, you know, the rent was like, you know, $26,000 a month. You know, she just thought I was out of my mind. But I don't know. I think she like doesn't, she's like.
What I think is cool about that and your mom, though, is like she first of all raised you to be someone where she knew that if you were gonna do it, you were gonna fucking do it.
For sure.
And then once you committed, you tell the story, I think on a podcast before too,
Yeah.
about how when you called her like crying, being like, fuck, I don't
Yeah.
know if I can do this. She's like, fuck you, get your ass together.
Yeah.
You're not fucking quitting. You know?
Yeah.
She was like, once you were committed, you were fucking committed, and
Yeah.
there was no backing down. And that's
Yeah.
a big difference. If you're doing something that like people are gonna doubt, like your parents or someone,
Yeah.
like, and you're gonna do it, you better fucking
Fucking
do it
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know, like don't slack.
I mean, I know it's corny, but like, you know that saying of like, what is it? Like you only fail when you quit.
Mhm.
If you really look back at like every successful person, like everyone has gone through, like no one started something. I mean, maybe like someone, but like 99% of people don't just start something and it explodes. You know, like you go through really, really hard times. And that's why, like, I think one of the questions was like it was, remember at the event, the kid was like, my
Yeah.
mom told me.
This was
So-
kind of a
or-
question that we had at the event.
Yeah, so it was like my dad told me like I'm an idiot for, you know, he wants to drop out of school or something. Like, what would you do? And it's like, well, if that's gonna stop you from doing what you want to do, like, don't do it, because there's gonna be way more difficult things down the road than that, you know. And if you can't even handle your fucking mom telling you not to do it, it's like maybe you should just not do it.
Yeah.
So
That's
But if you
always
have a fucking plan.
Yeah, that was hard for me because like I respect my parents immensely. So for them to say something wasn't a smart idea and for me to still do it was like I felt like I almost like betrayed them.
Yeah, it's hard to go
It's
against
really
your parents
hard.
like that.
Yeah.
I think all three of us, I mean, we've definitely gone against societal norms though.
Mhm.
I mean, for sure. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I still don't even know if my parents fully understand what I do on a daily basis right now, you know? And I've been doing it since I was 21 years
Do
old.
we?
Well, I don't know. But
you were just talking about that like when we were out flying.
yeah.
It's crazy, man. I think in order to be something special or do something special, you have to kind of go against the grain a little bit. You know, I think my parents are ultimately very supportive people. Like, obviously, you know, my mom works for me now. But I think it's one of those things where it's like you have to have that balance, right? Like, because are they really good parents if they tell you that to do it if they don't think it's a good idea, right? Like, you know, it's hard.
Yeah,
Because-
being a parent.
Yeah.
you're getting to the hard part
I
too.
know.
It's all fun
Because
just telling them,
you
put
let-
that down. Don't
yeah.
put that in your mouth. You know, but
It's because you love your kids and you always you want to like not like shelter them, but like help them not make mistakes. So I'm sure in that point in time, my mom's like, "You just got your doctorate, like you can go work and make really good money. Why the fuck are you gonna do this?" And I was like, "Well, it's just what I want to do," you know. And she's like, "Well, it's fucking stupid, you know. Like, why?" And I get it. Like, if I was in her shoes, I probably would have said the same thing. But I don't know, man. I felt like it was what I had to do.
I think it's important too, and I would say this about you, like you also can't be delusional. You know, that's the
sure.
other
Yeah.
huge part of it. Like even for you really, I mean, I think if I understand correctly, you didn't go full in until you got second at the Olympia.
yeah, keep
You
second.
know,
I was still
or-
in school coming second in the Olympics.
Exactly. Whereas I think a lot of these kids, they might hear this from us, but maybe they're going into their first show and they're like, well, maybe I should stop working now so I could be a full time. No, like that's not the time. You know, that's not the time to go all in. Like you need to have some level of consistency and success built up to know that you're going to actually have a shot. You know,
yeah, and that's so true too, because like when I say like I rented this space, like before I rented that space, I went into like a doctor's office and I rented space from a doctor's office and I was paying for a room and I built my business there to where I could afford to rent this space. Like I didn't do it stupidly. Like I had a plan. If I went to my mom and like, I'm going to open this and I have no money and I have no plan, she'd be like, she would literally not let me do it.
Yeah.
But I was like, look, like I started here, I rented this space, I'm outgrowing this space, I'm making this much money now, I can afford all the bills, like we're good. And then she was like, okay, well, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of kids look at social media now and they're like, you know, they see Matt or they see Chris and they think like, oh, I'm just going to fucking drop out of school and I'm going to become a bodybuilding coach, or I'm going to drop out of school and become Mr. Olympia. And that's where people fail. And they deserve to, in my opinion.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
deserve to fail if you do that.
yeah, there's no consistency or track record to back up what they're wanting to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's very much, especially in bodybuilding, for some reason, it's like, okay, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. I can't work anymore. I mean, it happened to kids when I was 20 years old, 18 years old. Like I saw the same thing.
What's equally scary is the people who do that and become successful, but they still are like successful from social media, and then they lose that by like 24, and now they've never actually worked. Like
Yeah.
social media is not real work at the end of the day. you
No.
know?
Or they have no social skills.
And they have no
Like,
social skills,
yeah.
and they're 24. They can't rely on their Instagram anymore because like 10,000 other people are more popular than them.
Right.
You have no education, no work ethic. Like, what do? You know?
Yeah, and that's a whole nother topic of conversation too, is like taking like if you do and when you do get that like Instagram notoriety, like use it to do something like that's more than Instagram.
Yeah.
Like figure out a way to make money out of it that doesn't involve Instagram forever. Because, you know, it's like anything, right? Eventually it's not going to be there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's important to definitely have skills and learn skills. And that's why I'm so adamant and tell people like learn as much as you can. And that's why I'm trying to learn as much as I can. Because what you learn at one place, you'll be able to utilize at all these other places if you know what you're doing.
I mean, it's all, business is all the same.
Yeah.
You know, all this shit's the same. It's just different stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, and that goes hand in hand with the next question, which was like advice for college students looking to drop out. And it's basically what you guys just said. Like, don't even think about it unless you have like an actual plan that you'll stick to and actually like there's hope there.
College is tough. You know, I say high school, like finish high school. You know, I hate to say it, but like I really don't think like to this day, unless it's like a nurse or, you know, a doctor that I'm hiring, I don't care about college education.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I care more about like the person and like, you know, the I guess you could say like the more, I don't know, just like the moral compass of them. I don't think college does really anything anymore. I mean, the majors are like ridiculous now. Half the kids that graduate college have a degree in marketing.
Yeah.
I think for me, honestly, college taught me what not to do. Like that like when I was in school, I saw what was going on and like I was like, okay, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to be this type of person, or I don't want to be associated with this, and that's what really drove me. So I think I took a lot away from school, but it wasn't actual school.
I think time management is the best thing I learned in college.
Yeah.
Waking up, going to class, you know, studying for tests, showing up for tests,
being responsible on your own.
That's it. You know, doing your own laundry, paying your own rent. Like that's the shit I learned, and that resonated with me. But as far as like the stuff I learned, I couldn't tell you a fucking thing that I learned, except like, you know, the anatomy and that stuff. That's kind of stays with you.
Yeah. It was literally, I would go into class and they would be talking about like.
Did you go to UCF?
FGCU.
Okay.
FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. But I would go to classes and they would tell you to look into internships and look into the 9-to-5s, and I was like, I don't ever want to do this.
Yeah.
Like just be stuck. Well, I say that now, but I work a 9-to-5 in an office, but it's like somewhere I actually enjoy being.
If you think this is a 9-to-5, you're out of your fucking mind.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well,
Bro, you guys go to Sprouts for lunch for an hour every day.
yeah,
Just
that is
casually
true.
to a road trip.
And that's one of the things too, is that this isn't like a 9-to-5. It's like a 24/7. Like everyone's always on call, ready for anything when it comes up.
Yeah, but that's because we're not like, you know, one of the biggest things I think we can attest to here is like we don't really micromanage anyone unless they need to be micromanaged. So we kind of let you guys do what you do. You know, you guys are all everywhere. I don't even know where you are half the fucking day, but I know you're doing your job, so I don't care, right? And I think that's one of the biggest and most important things when it comes to like work environment is as long as, you know, everyone does what they're supposed to do, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't, then you're going to be micromanaged and you're going to hate me.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. And then kind of to top it all off, to end it, when did you guys realize that you made it? Like that Raw was going to make it?
it's a bad question for all of us because I don't even think we all think it's there yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the pace at which the company has grown so quickly is insane. But I already feel like you guys have made it. Like you're still working to establish the reputation, but it's there. Like people look at Raw and they see you guys and they're like, these are the guys. And I think there's still a lot more you can do, but I feel like you're already almost like embedded in the industry.
Yeah, but I also think you have to understand, like, to the average person, that would be making it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, making it in the bodybuilding industry. But Raw is so much more than a bodybuilder's brand. So I'm not saying that, like, we haven't made it, per se, or, like, people know what we are. But there's so much more that goes into it past that.
Yeah.
You know, and this is so much bigger than just that industry. And, like, we all have goals for this brand that stem so much further than competing in bodybuilding and in Instagram, and we want this to be bigger than all of us and be around way longer than we're around, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, on our side of things, we're kind of just getting over growing pains.
Yeah.
To the point where we can start doing the fun shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's still gonna turn into growing pains because it's
There'll be
great to
more.
grow.
Yeah.
But like once you're past that, like initial like like that, I'm like, okay, like let's fucking explode now. You know, we're kind of like feeling like we're just about to start. You know.
Yeah. So like there's stages, and in these specific businesses, you have direct to consumer, right? Which is like how most of them start.
Mhm.
It's selling from
E-commerce, yeah,
e-commerce, right? So you get through that, and then you're at the top of your e-commerce game. You're making a ton of money, and a lot of brands kind of stop there because they're happy. They're making a lot of money. There's not a lot of overhead. But then next is specialty, right? Which is Vitamin Shoppe, GNC, which is where we are now. But that's not even close to like
The ceiling.
right? But that's where most people stop is here. But then you have big retail, right? You have huge stores, you have different things, different avenues, grocery, Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy Sports. So like, that's where the brand really grows, and that's where we're at now. And I think, just getting there, right? Like those are the quarter, I guess you could say like 2023 is a really big year for us. And we're kind of getting ready for that, which is why we got the bigger space. Like we didn't need the space. Well, I guess we kind of did, but we didn't need the space. We didn't need a space as big as this, but we're planning ahead, right?
Yeah,
so I think when it comes to Raw, I think what you guys see as being big is on the outside. I don't know if you understand how much bigger it's actually going to be. And I'm just really excited to show you guys that. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to show. That's what we're really good at. We're better at kind of just doing it, and you guys coming along for the ride versus like telling you what we're going to do, and then it's not as fun that way.
If we thought we made it, I don't think we would be as successful as what we are. I think it kind of goes hand in hand. As cliche as that is, like if we were just sitting here thinking that we made it, we're done, we wouldn't be in this room talking about the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that's really important to us is like, we're not really trying to compare ourselves to another, like, what do you base it off of, right? Like us making it, what are you comparing that to? Another supplement brand?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's not what we compare ourselves to.
Mm-hmm.
Like when was the last time we've ever been like, let's do what they do?
Yeah.
Like let's do that marketing, or that's cool, let's do that. It's more like, the only time I think we'll ever really look at another brand is price comparisons for products to see like where we sit in the market. But like when it comes to all of our ideas and all the things we're doing, we don't really.
They're coming from outside.
They don't come from our space at all.
Yeah.
I think like we have so much influence from like streetwear and, thankfully my mom from like big box retail, like she brings a lot of like info in from there. And it's just, I hate to say it, it's just we're playing a different game. Like, does that make sense? Like, we're not playing, like, people who think we're playing the game, like, in our industry, like, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not playing that game. We're playing something so much different. And I think that's where a lot of people are trying to, like, maybe replicate what we're doing, and they don't even really know what we're doing. So how do you replicate it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, that makes complete sense. And it's exciting because there's always something new happening.
Yeah.
And you never know where it's going to be because, like you said, we're not in just that one cliche. So it could be tons of different things that we end up going into. So
I think the biggest thing coming out of that question is like a lot of the people who think we're like focusing on this one space, they have no idea like what we're really trying to do. And I think over the next 2 years you'll see that unfold, and it's going to be like I think it could be a really cool way for other brands to see how they can be bigger than they think they can be.
mm-hmm.
Agreed. Well said.
Yes.
Well said. Yes.
Very much, yes.
All right. Well,
Sebastian has to go get lunch now, so we have to stop the podcast.
Sprouts Run.
Go get that shredded chicken.
Go get the shredded chicken, the $11 shredded chicken.
Quarter of a pound.
Expensive.
That's not even all white meat either, is it?
On one of these podcasts, we need to dissect a Publix.
We got to get a
sub
chicken tender sub. We'll
and
do that
put
for the Raw Life.
Bring the scale out.
Yeah, do that on the YouTube.
Next Raw Life
Really
YouTube
figure it out.
video. We'll buy the chicken tenders, and I'll prove.
How much protein is in it?
He says it's
prove
126 grams.
120 grams
No
of
shot.
protein
There's
in a
no way.
chicken tender.
Maybe in a
sub
6 foot.
from Publix.
120 grams.
Dude, that's not possible.
That's Courtney's protein intake for the day.
126 grams of protein.
From 6
That-
1
you
ounce
could-
chicken
you could literally
tenders.
Just take that sandwich. Courtney could take that sandwich, eat it every day, and like prep for an Olympia.
Yeah.
Just on that sandwich all day. Split it up into.
So you're saying there's as much protein in that sandwich as 5 scoops of protein?
Oh, I guess that is equivalent to 5.
He like hook,
Look,
line,
look.
hook,
I
line,
don't-
and sinker. Like he's
look,
like, yeah, of course, yeah.
Look,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't honestly.
down.
How many ounces of chicken are in that tray of shredded chicken you get? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't even weigh it. You just eat the
No.
whole
It's
thing.
I
probably
just eat the
4
whole
ounces
thing.
for $11.
Quite possibly.
There's a lot of chicken.
It's
in
probably
there
like
sometimes.
2 pounds of chicken.
It's quite a bit of chicken.
It's got to be like around 2 pounds. So if you think about it, what is that? 2 pounds of chicken? That's like 160 grams of protein, right?
They
So-
put a lot of chicken tenders on that
no
sub.
way. All that chicken is not fitting in that sub. No, you're out of your mind.
400 grams of chicken.
He's out of his mind.
We'll do it. We'll do it on the
Be
raw
over
life.
400.
No, more than that. Yeah. 16 ounces in a pound. So 16 times 28 is whatever that is. That's 1 pound's worth in grams, and then multiply that times 2. I am a numbers guy, I'll tell you that.
There you go.
What was this episode? That was good.
In the books.
Much better job today.
Yeah. I actually knew what I was doing. I knew what I was in for, so.
Good job being prepared.